All right, so let's go ahead and start here. Okay, we are here with Healthy Hydration, but we're going to be introducing a new program to the platform. I'm so excited about, very passionate about actually. So first, I want to go through, my mom actually reached out to me this morning. She says, did you see this in the news? I don't know if you've heard about anything over there in Canada, but this is a global epidemic we're having right now with the exposure to PFAS contamination.
To what?
PFAS.
Spell that?
PFOS or PFAS.
Okay, no.
Okay, well, I'll kind of brief you in and tell you what happened. Several years back, they're still going on today. DuPont and 3M are two big companies, and they produce latex, they produce Teflon, they produce the plastic water resistant material. And they had been leaching this contaminant in the water in their area. That's where they were disposing of it. And how the EPA works is the Environmental Protection Agency. In order for there to be like a concern or a chemical that's in the water that we have to be notified about, they would have to, 3M DuPont would have to go to the EPA with the contaminant to say, we're going to be adding this into the water. It's a runoff. Is it okay? And that's how they would say, oh, yeah, let's look at this chemical and let's see, what the effects are. Well, they did not go to the EPA.
Of
They just
course.
contaminating it. And so what ended up happening is years later, the animals started getting sick. And there was an attorney that worked for 3M and DuPont. I personally got to meet him and interview him in Vegas a couple years ago. He was on stage speaking about this epidemic, and he said he used to work for 3M and DuPont. But when these animals were getting sick, he had someone call him and he was getting sick, and he believed it was from this, Teflon. So this lawyer ended up getting all these records, and they made a huge documentary about it. It's called Dark Waters. So on Netflix, you can get it's called Dark Waters. And he basically exposed that they knew about this contaminant. There was several people that were getting sick in the facility. There was one woman who had a baby, and the baby came out deformed, and then they found more of that was going on, and they just kept pushing it underneath the files. And so now there's a big lawsuit with 3M and DuPont because this chemical has gotten into they tested 80,000 different sites, I believe it was, in the US, and every single site was positive for this chemical. And it's everywhere. So now, because it's gotten so bad, the EPA is now regulating it, this chemical. And in my local area, we have hazardous levels of this contaminant. And they had to publicly announce it on our news. And I've been to the cities, and what really got me was I went to our cities, and their water report that the public gets, that's mandated, they have to get this report. And so last year I spent time in meetings at the city halls, all three of them in our local area, because they're lying to the public. They're putting right in their brochures, we are proud to present that our water is safe and it's great quality to drink. And I pulled up all the reports saying, how can you say this? Like this website here, anyone can go to it in the US. It's a tap water database, and it's going to tell you this is not affiliated with the government. So it's a third party site, but it's going to tell you more accurate information. It doesn't work for everywhere in the world, just in the US. But here's our local area. I'm in Pasco, which is here. So it's going to tell you all these contaminants that are in our water. And actually, it doesn't have the PFAS on that one. It's in the city of Richland. It will show us. Yeah, 99301. Oops. And actually, Walla Walla, which is not Walla Walla, Moses Lake, which is an hour and a half from me, is in the top three in the whole United States of having the highest level. Top three out of all the states. It's very, very scary. And so that's why we have our whole house water system. It really helps lower the contamination. We can get reverse osmosis whole water systems as well. But you can just go to this site. And so I'm trying to find the Richland one so we can really look at it better. 352. And for your customers, those of you that are affiliates, you can actually do a complimentary water report for your clients so they can actually see what's in there. These are the things they're not telling you when you go to the city, because there's over 60,000 contaminants in our tap water. And the regulation, they're only regulating 91 of them. And we don't know what that one's doing with that one. It could have a whole nother chemical. But here, the PFAS. So PFAS has many different chains to it, different chemicals, but they're all kind of lumped together. So PFOS, PFOA, these ones here are more towards thyroid issues. People are experiencing lots of thyroid issues. But these are chemicals known to go in your body and they stick to your organs because it's plastic. And so it goes in, it's on the liver, and you just can't wash it off. So it just keeps accumulating in the body. And so cancer and all kinds of different things. But you can come here and you can say, okay, this PFOA, this utility has 21.4 parts per trillion. The national average is 4.16. So we are way above that. And then if you want to learn more about this contaminant, you can click here and you can print this off your clients. But it's going to tell you that these things cause all kinds of different issues like cancer, endocrine disruption, that's hormone problems, puberty issues, accelerated puberty, liver and immune damage, thyroid changes. So these are all accumulating in our body every day. And so they made a standard that says you have to only have this amount in our water here, and actually everywhere in the US. But they gave them 3 years to comply with this because they had to put new filtration in. They're estimating, I think it's $16 billion just to try to clean this up, just like trying to clean it up. And so they have a standard that it has to be below, and we exceeded that. But it's not legal yet, so they don't have to do anything other than notify the public, which is really sad because now for the next 2 years, we're still drinking the water, even though we don't know that's not that good for us. So we have solutions. That's what we do. But this has been in the news. It's quite tragic. So there's quite a problem. So we're here to solve solutions. All right. Now I want to introduce you to a new chapter of healthy hydration in my own personal brand. We've actually started a new YouTube channel. JC is here as a guest. He's going to talk about a national TV called QTV that sought us out and decided they wanted to put us on their platform. So we'll talk about that, but pain-free living. So raise your hands. How many of you have experienced pain at some level of your life? Some point of your life, you've got pain. Okay. Well, I had a lot of pain, a lot of pain. So for those of you that don't know my background, I used to ride horses. And I wish I could find some pictures of me riding. I looked everywhere on the internet. I couldn't find any. So dressage is an Olympic sport. And I got really, really good at it. I made it to the Junior Olympics, won the bronze medal, and my horse was long listed for the Olympic trials with a different rider at a different time. But that's the kind of caliber I was at. I was going to the Olympic Games. That's my goal. And so the story began as I took a couple of my horses to Seattle, about 3 hours from me, and I plan on staying there with my horse trainer. Christophe actually is from France. And the second day there, I was riding a young horse, wasn't my horse, and I'd never fallen off before, even though I trained 8 horses a day and lots of students. And I got bucked off. The horse spooked and it was young. I corrected him and he said, "Off with you." I landed on my feet and I landed so hard that I compressed the tibia and the fibia and I broke all the bones and shattered them. And I remember just lying there in the dirt and I couldn't take my boot off because it hurt so bad. So we had to cut my boot off. That was the riding boots like you see here. And I thought, oh, I just sprained it, and I didn't cry at all. It hurt, but I didn't cry. I was like, no, I'm fine. I have this goal and I'm going to do this no matter what. So I went to the hospital and I went to Harborview, and that's the local one there. And they did the x-rays. The doctor comes back and he says, "You're really tough, young lady." He said, "Out of all the fractures you could possibly have, this is the worst fracture you could have." He's like, we see these in people that are driving their car into a brick wall. Like that's the kind of impact you got. And so then I just started bawling. Like I couldn't believe it. Here I am going to my goal, like gonna do this. This is my future. And I got a 5-stall barn. I got 25 acres my parents have just for me to ride horses and train. And that was my passion. So after that, I was like, what am I going to do next? I had surgeries, a couple of them. They told me I would only have 60% range of mobility in my ankle and I would never be able to run again. And so I sat there on the couch for 9 months trying to figure out, great, watching everybody else out the window ride my horses and, thinking about getting back on. I tried to get back on after I recovered ish and wasn't the same. I couldn't get my heels down. I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. So I had to end up retiring from that, even though it was my passion because of this. And so that's what brought me into the next chapter of my life was, okay, now that I have this ankle, I literally have no strength in my ankle and it had shrunk like that. When I got the cast and everything off, it was just shrunk. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go to the gym. I start working out. And so I went to the gym and my trainer I had at the time, she's like, you're so competitive. We should put you in some competitions. So I was like, what the heck? Why not? So I did several competitions and on my very last competition, I started getting really, really sick. I started losing my hair. I couldn't sleep. The trainer I was working with put me on lots of different stimulating products to help lose body fat. And then, I'm eating tuna fish like 3 times a day, some days. And it wasn't a healthy diet, especially for a woman. And so my last competition was this one right here. I just didn't feel right. So afterwards, I went to the doctor and he did a bunch of blood work. And this was a naturopath. And he says, young lady, you are going to kill yourself if you continue going the way you're going. He said, you have the highest level of mercury that I've ever seen in any of my patients. He says, you have adrenal fatigue. And at the time, I hadn't had a female period in a couple of years at that point. And he says, so you need to stop. He said, your body is stressed out to the max. Your body will pass away if you don't stop working out this intensely and doing the things that you're doing. So I said, okay, I'm gonna have to stop. This is like the end all be all. And I was like 22 probably at the time. So here I am. Now I'm not in the horses anymore. I'm now not working out. I become clinically obese within just a couple of months because my body just rebounded. Like anything I put in my body just whoa. People would see me in this competition and they'd see me a couple months later and they'd be like, are you okay? Are you pregnant? Like, you look like you gained some weight. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not pregnant. I'm just fat. It was horrible. So I spent 8 years living in that uncomfortable body, considered clinically obese. I'd wear a jacket when it was 100 degrees outside because I was so embarrassed the person I became. I was depressed all the time. I was going to the doctors like every couple of weeks I'd get a new doctor, because I had no period then for 8 years as a female because my body was still undergoing this stress. And I started developing a really lots of pain in my right side. And I wasn't having a female period. So I thought, maybe this is cramps every day. So every day I'd wake up to these cramps. So I just started taking ibuprofen and so it was miserable. And so I literally tried everything for 8 years, tried everything possible. Stem cells, I got anti-inflammatory food diet, ozone therapy, chiropractic 3 times a week massage. It didn't matter. This pain was still there. And so that's when I found the hydrogen water about 8 years into this journey. And that's what changed my life because I drank the water. And for the first time in years, I remember like it was like a sheet just lifted off my head and I could just see again. I was like, wow, I feel like I have life in me now. And I started releasing weight and I started feeling energy and I started feeling better. But still, my body had not healed itself underneath of all this. Because while I was weight training, while I was walking around in my day, my ankle was only 60% range of mobility. I had weights on my back and I don't have the same balance on both sides. So I built all the muscle structure in the wrong direction. So my hips were twisted, my neck, my back, everything was not aligned anymore. And all the muscles were really tight. So I just kept searching and searching. What am I going to do? I have the water, it's helping me, but I'm still having this pains. So 20 years I spent trying to figure this out. And right around COVID, this is really the event that changed my life. I heard about this gentleman, and his name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. How many of you have heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza? Okay. So me and Marjorie, my assistant, she still works for us and she's awesome. We decide, well, we can't really do much here, but we can go to Mexico and we can have fun. They don't have mask mandates over there, and this Dr. Joe's going to be there, and we'll go there. So we signed up for the course, and if you know anything about his courses, they're all sold out. like within an hour or two. You have to wait by the computer just to push the button because there's so many people that want to go. So this event, there was 1,000 people that showed up in Mexico for an 8-day retreat. And I was since went to 3 of these 8-day retreats. And I didn't even know what this guy did or what he did, but I knew there was lots of people getting results for health results, business results. And so me and Marjorie went, and the second day there, he's teaching us the psychology, and he's teaching us the science behind the mind-body connection and how he healed himself from an injury that they said he might be paralyzed from, and he was able to heal himself from. So I got up from the second day, first meditation in the morning, and my back pain that I experienced in the right side was gone. And I was like, well, that's weird. I got up and I was looking for it. When you always have something that's going on, it's like, oh, there it is, and it was not there. And so I had to look around for it. It still wasn't there for a good probably 30 minutes to an hour. And then it came back. And I'm like, what the heck is back? And so then we go into the second meditation in the afternoon and it went away again. I was like, what the heck is going away every time I do this meditation? And so it all comes down to stress. When our body is under stress, it can't heal. And so when we're thinking a thought, it creates a feeling. And if it's a stressful thought, like cortisol and adrenaline is released, and that gets stored in our body and that builds up and we don't release it. It shows up as anxiety as well. So, and for me, it's stored in the hip whenever I get overwhelmed or just the trauma of my ankle that I was never able to heal. But the meditation helped me. So then for the next 3 years, I practiced, but I also worked with Bob Proctor. I don't know if you've heard of him. How many of you have heard of Bob Proctor? Yeah, so Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bob Proctor, they've worked together too. And I was fortunate, we'll also hear from a gentleman, a chiropractor here in a bit, that was fortunate to work with Bob too before he passed. But this is Bob.
Read Amanda's energy like a book. Amanda, you are a very disciplined person. You got very strong energy. You'll go right through a wall to make things happen. You want to follow somebody who's going to win, you get on her wagon. I'm going to tell you, she knows where she's going, this girl. She's got a lot of left brain. She's pretty analytical. She's stubborn as hell. That's what her parents will tell you. She will tell you she's persistent.
Wow, you did like a nail on the head.
I know what you're like.
Wow. That's incredible.
So that's Bob. And so I learned so much from him, and I learned so much from Dr. Joe that I practiced for 3 years. And, I meditated 3 hours a day and I did everything. But I went to Mexico a year ago. And when I went to Mexico a year ago, it was just for pleasure. And I ended up getting 3 massages. And these massages, I don't know what he was doing there, but I felt my body change. And I felt the tension that was in the hips move to my middle of my spine, right near my rib cage. So here's, kind of what was going on underneath. So this had been going on for a year. And I didn't know what to do. This was just taking my life at this point.
Why is Amazon paying me $600 a day? Because I use Amazon AI.
Here we are. This is one of my shirts. For those of you that are just joining in here, this is my YouTube channel where I want to teach you what I did in order to change my body, to make myself go from having fused areas in my back to being pain-free and having no symptoms. This is my shirt. I used to wear this one, but I had so much pain, I would take my hand and I constantly put it where my pain was at. And that's why I stained all my shirts. This pain was so bad, you guys, it was just unbelievable. I wake up with it, I go to bed with it. It was like always there. And I could never figure out how to stretch it, how to get it out of there. And chiropractors, massage, all kinds of stuff. It just stressed me out trying to figure out what was causing it. And so once I knew all the information that I learned from mentors like Bob Proctor, Dr. Joe Dispenza, I went to 3 8-day retreats and really started learning about me and you. Like, how do we operate? What helps our body? We get a cut, it heals. You get something going inside, it will heal. But you have to realize how your body heals, and you have to get yourself out of stress. Because when you're in stress, your body cannot heal. And so we are going to be doing a course, I decided, because there's so many people out there that are in need, that want help, that want this life that they know is inside of them, but they can't get access to it because they're living in pain. And I want to help them get out of that pain. So what I've done is I've put an early bird waitlist together. We're going to be launching a course here on July 27th is the day it goes live. And I want you guys to have access first. If you are serious about this and you want to change your life, then you want to sign up on our early bird waitlist. There'll be a link somewhere around here. Just So yeah, that was me for a year. I couldn't stop touching my chest because it was hurting so bad. And so fast forward a year, I decided I was going to take Sophia and Andreas to Switzerland because Dr. Joe was there again. And I felt like I just needed something else. I just couldn't figure it out. So this was the breakthrough. So at that event, I had this amazing transformation. I learned some more information that really helped me. So as soon as I got back, I said, okay, I'm going to go to the chiropractor and I'm going to get some x-rays because I don't know what's going on with my back, but I'm going to focus for the next 6 months. So January of this year, I said, that's it. I'm going to go to the doctor, get x-rays, and he says you have 2 fusions in your back and you have spondylitis, which is inflammation of the spine. So I said, okay. He said, your hips are all positioned wrong. Your body's not in your body. Your head's here. You need to reposition your whole body. So I took his information and I went to work. I took the information from, Dr. Joe and Bob, and I went to work. And I knew my body had healed because the pain was gone. And so I went back and got more x-rays 6 months later, and the 2 fusions that I had there are not there anymore. And the spondylitis that was there did not show up either. And so I am just so passionate about this because if I can do it, I can share my information with others. And the money that I spent with Dr. Joe and Bob and all these things to learn the information was a lot. And I'm just going to give the gold nuggets of what really helped me. So that's all I want to do now is just help others. So what we're doing is there is a link and we can put it in the chat here. But you're going to be able to make income off this too. So when you get your clients excited about this, there'll be a 3-month course we're going to do, and I'll explain it in a second. But it's going to be wonderful. So we have this early bird waitlist. And the intention here is we get all of our clients on the early bird waitlist before we actually give it to the public. And then there's 6 authority videos here. So this is the next one. We just put it out this morning, but it's basically going to give value and talk to you about what we're going to be learning in the course. So it's building value, building credibility. And then the last one will just go over the course details because we haven't decided the cost of the course yet or anything really because, I'm just kind of decided to do it. So I don't really know the audience and all these things. So we just want people to sign up for the early bird waitlist. And as soon as we narrow it down, they'll have access to that. So that's what we're doing. And so what's going to be part of the course is we're going to include a 3-month live Zoom calls. So when people come, I'm going to teach mind-body connection, how to get your body out of stress, different exercises that have helped me. We're going to put people in a private Facebook group. We'll have nutrition coaching, Andreas and Sophia as well, because Sophia is a holistic nutritionist. Health assessment, we're going to have people take a walk forward and backwards so we can see how they're walking, their patterns of walking. We're going to have an anxiety course with Dr. Jeff Parton, who's going to be joining us here in a minute. In fact, he might be on already. And he's going to talk about anxiety and how to eliminate anxiety in your life. And he also worked with Bob Proctor, so I'll let him introduce himself here. Let's see, is he in the room? Not yet. I should check my phone. He was working with some patients, but he was going to come right after that. So we'll hear from him in just a minute. I'll tell you about the new YouTube channel. So this is it here. We just launched it not too long ago. So this is a lot of great tools. If you've got clients that, I need this stretch or how do I get rid of this neck pain? This is a great channel that you can send people where I'll kind of explain different exercises that have worked for me. And here, I'll put it in the chat here. So if you want to grab this link, it's right there and you can become a YouTube subscriber. There you go. And then I wanted to put the early bird waitlist in there too. So you have that one. So both of those are in there for you. Okay. So we have that. And then if you don't already know, we have the 4-in-1 right now. So as you know, the Hydra Shot is the #1 selling bottle in the market. It's the highest producing bottle. You get this here. And this has a cap. So this is a standard cap it comes with. The foreign one is going to come with an additional cap that you can change the hydro shot into an inhalation unit. So this is the inhalation here. You can put it in the nose. So you put the cap and it goes in your nose. And then we have the goggles. So you can put it right in your eyes. So people with any kind of eye issues, I'll show you. It goes in their eyes. And we've had really good results with this too. So you just put the hydrogen and it goes right into your eyes that way. It's great. So we get that. And then we've got the disinfecting spray bottle. So this kills 99.9% of bacteria and germs. You put water and you add table salt. And then you push this button and it makes hypochlorous acid. You can see here. And this is a very, very powerful disinfectant. It's also great for your skin. So if you've got people with eczema, acne, blisters, burns, cuts, scrapes, wounds, diaper rash, it's safe, but it oxidizes. So it helps to heal things faster. If you go to the medical store, you can buy, or the veterinarian, it's called Vetricin or Mycin, and they use it for wound care. And it's expensive. I want to say it's like $150 for like 8 ounces. It's really highly priced. So we can make this with this. This comes in the kit. And then I had some of these because we literally sold out of bottles when we first brought our bottles out. So I got this as a fill-in bottle, but it's just sitting out there. It's not advertised. We call it the Hydra Travel. It's small, but it also has inhalation. So it comes with its own cap here. And so it comes with an inhalation cannula. So this is almost a $200 value, get complimentary right now. It's a very limited supply. So if you got clients, $399 gets you the kit. It's a $500 kit. And then you also get this, which is a $200 value for only $399. So it's really good value. So definitely check that out for your clients or for gifts or whatnot. And I just saw that Jeff jumped on. Dr. Jeff Parton. Are you ready to, you're ready? Okay. So this is Dr. Jeff Parton, and I've known him for what, about 2 years now. He bought a home unit from us. He's got a practice that's probably 4 hours from me here in the Seattle area. He went through the Bob Proctor courses, and he knows a lot about the body, and he knows a lot about anxiety. And so one of the courses inside the course, we're going to have him talk about anxiety. So Dr. Jeff, would you mind just coming out a little bit and talking with the audience about your background and why you're excited, and maybe even a few pointers for people that do have some anxiety, what they can do right away?
Sure, I would love to. Well, thanks for having me on, Amanda. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Jeff Parton, and I'm a chiropractor in Mercer Island near Seattle. And I've been doing this for about 25 years. One thing that I've been starting to work on is that Amanda and I both have in common. We both worked with Bob Proctor. I have known about him since 2007 when I watched the movie The Secret. And I always kind of watched him from afar. And I don't know what prompted me. I guess the universe just guided me to actually call there. And I talked to his protege, Arash Vasugi, on the phone, which was pretty cool. And he's like, hey, do you want to talk to Bob? And he puts this dude on the phone, and I'm talking to him. Just hearing his voice, because I've heard it so many times, and actually having an actual conversation, it was like surreal, because he's one of like my favorite people and just coolest people I like wanted to meet. So anyway, I started working at him, and it was a mind-blowing experience. I had a ton of stuff happen to me in about a 10-year period where I just got to the point where my anxiety was so debilitating I couldn't function. I had gotten a divorce that was really tough. I was being threatened left, right, and center. I ended up getting Bell's palsy because I don't know if you guys know what that is, but half my face was paralyzed. It started to affect my business, started to affect my relationships. And then I also lost both my parents in that time. And we also had COVID, which was a really challenging time too after that. So I was at a point where I could hardly leave the house. I was just like seriously debilitated. I couldn't function. All I could do is like maybe show up to the office and try to put a smile on my face, but I was so stressed out and worried and sick and depressed and whatever. So I started like working on this stuff. And some of the things that have really helped me are some of the things that Amanda does as well. And it's really exciting because like the meditation and the breathing, it's like, I remember one of the first seminars I ever went to, like, be, do, have. Be the person you want to be, do the things they do, have the life that they will have. And as I started to do this and started to transform my mind and how I think, it has made such a big difference. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about. I'm so excited about, because I don't want anybody to have the experience that I have had, because I was, so stressed and I didn't know how to get rid of it, that I've thought about, okay, maybe the best thing to do is end it, or who knows what. And it's just not a fun place to be. So I get just really passionate about this stuff because it has saved my life and has changed my life. And it's all about learning how to think, understanding the mind, understanding why we do or why I do what I do. And it's just amazing. And again, it's like one of the things I'm most passionate about. And I just want to share with people. And I'm just grateful to know Amanda and to be able to come in here and talk about this. And so we're going to share, a little bit of kind of what anxiety is, what that happens, what it does to your body, like physiologically, hormone wise, and how that can make you sick and lead to disease. And then things that you can do to combat that, like if you're in the middle of a panic attack, or if you're in the middle of a situation where you're really stressed out, and about how you can change how you think and ultimately change how you feel and who you are, and that will actually help change your experience. So it's about the thoughts, the feelings, and then that starts to change what happens to you and your actions and your experience. So I believe that's going to be like July 27th. And both Amanda and I are just really excited and fired up about this.
Yes, we sure are. And what I noticed too is when I was going through this, you said hormones. When I was going through my 8 years where I was up and down of my weight, I had I didn't know at the time it was anxiety, but I was wondering what's going on in my body, and that anxiety of fear and the doubt, I was suppressing it. And I'd eat food and I would just gain weight. And now that I know how to release the anxiety or the energy that we don't want in our body, I can literally eat anything that I want. And I don't want to like say I eat donuts all the time and pizza all the time, but I used to not be able to eat much at all, like 1,200 calories a day, and I'm living in the body you saw. And so now I'm like stuffing my face in a way because I'm so grateful that I don't have to worry about calories anymore, and that my body's using the energy and my hormones are balanced. And so these are some of the things we get to look forward to, is you feel free in your body. I mean, what would it feel like to wake up and you don't have pain? You're not looking for the pain. You can eat food, your body uses it. You're not worried about your weight. So it's really, really transformational.
And to be constantly stuck in stress response, because like there's stress response, which is sympathetic nervous system function, and parasympathetic, which is rest and relaxation. And where you're in stress and anxiety, or if your body's sick, like if there's a problem with your spine or other things, it's going to get you where you're stuck in sympathetic, and that's fight or flight. And it causes stress hormones to be released. And that'll cause your body to age faster too, because the stress hormones are like nitrous oxide. Yeah, it's going to make your car go faster and it's good for a moment, but you can't continue to fuel the car with nitrous oxide forever. It's going to blow up. And that's what happens to our body.
Well, and you said that right. All this time I spent bodybuilding and, working on my fitness with such a range of mobility. It's the spine was not aligned, and it was putting my central nervous system every day, all the time, still in stress. It had never healed from that. So literally, I don't work out now. I don't use weights. I just stretch and I breathe, and I do meditation. So it's really exciting to know you don't have to go to the gym every single day in order to be fit. You just need to balance your body. Once we're balanced, our body heals. So it's really exciting. Okay, so next, thank you so much for explaining that. And then we're going to be going live on Facebook too in a couple of weeks, where he'll be giving more information about anxiety and what we can do. And we will have a training next Saturday at 10 a.m. as well, and I'll be there talking about sales. So it'll be great for those of you that want to join us next Saturday too. But the next speaker here I want to talk about is I got a call, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, from JC, who's an affiliate for Healthy Hydration here. But he's like, how would you like to have your own podcast channel on national TV? I was like, well, yeah, sign me up. He's like, well, yeah, you're going to pre-qualified here. And he got me on a Zoom call with the founders of this company, and I'll let you kind of let him tell the rest, JC.
Okay. Hi, I'm JC. I am jacked up excited for the backstory of Amanda. I guess I didn't realize all of the struggles that you've endured and, got to this point. So that's even more amazing. I can't wait to see you on Q. So Q Broadcast is a Christian-based platform that I guess enticed me because they search people with the truth, and so that that hit hard in my mind and in my heart because television today is so contaminating. And when I learned about the podcasts that were available to people, there's people that are out there that are trying to share the truth, whether it's doctors or whether it's just your everyday living. So once Q shared with people that they are in need of podcasters that want to share whatever it is, their product, their truth. Right away, it came in my heart, Amanda, and I was like, well, she's so busy. I don't know if she's even gonna give me the time of day. So I thought, well, I don't have anything to lose except something huge, her to lose out on the opportunity to do this. And so I believe in divine alignment and God's grace. And here we are today. I can't contain myself. I am jacked up excited because I can't wait to be able to help so many people with people like Amanda and get this out to our people on, national television where you have freedom of speech and you can share, truth.
Yes.
So I get emotional because I didn't know your backstory, Amanda, and I'm so happy that you included me. And we're jacked up at Q. We actually had a bunch of the producers stalk Amanda before they gave me the green light to even do an interview. So I'm blessed. I'm honored. We're happy to have you a part of Q.
Thank you so much for that. I'm really excited because the platform YouTube and some of the other platforms out there, they will not let you say certain things. They will ban you. And that's, why podcasts and things have a different channel because they want to get their truth out because they can't on these normal channels. So we'll be sharing with people more about the healing journey and how people can help themselves on here. So I'm very excited about that. All right, just a few more things here and then we'll do some questions and answers and we'll start our Saturday. Okay, so the next steps for you guys, get your prospects joining the early bird waitlist. So right now we don't know the cost of the course, but I feel like I want to put together like a little kit for them that's maybe going to even include a machine in that possibly, I don't know for sure. Stay active on social media, kind of follow what we're doing. Work with 2 people a day. If you can get yourself used to talking to 2 people a day, new people. Hey, have you heard about hydrogen water? What kind of water do you drink? 2 new people. It's going to help you build momentum. And then next Saturday, I'm going to be doing a sales training at 10. So we'll talk more about the sales strategy and how to get people coming to you using the alluring method instead of having to find people all the time. We want them coming to you. So we'll be talking more about that. All right. So with that being said, do we have any questions, comments, or anything we want to bring up? Everyone's excited for their Saturday. What are maybe any of you that are active affiliates for us out there? Is there anything exciting that you have for next week coming up? Anybody you're talking to? Transformational, maybe product transformation that you've experienced in your body or someone that you know? Love to hear about that. I know Anna, she's always dancing. I love watching on social media. She is from the Sweden area as well. What time is it over there for you now?
It's actually 7:45 in the evening, so our day is coming to an end.
Yep.
It's not starting. And I was out dancing last night, so I'm a little bit tired today. So it's good
Sure.
that it's coming to an end.
And you,
I had a question about the the goggles, are they specifically for the US market, or would they be able to be?
Can use
Yes, I want to see. I'm sitting on the phone, so it's really small, everything. But are these the ones for the eyes, right?
Yeah, so the Hydra Shot, it's just got a different cap here. So the normal cap doesn't have, so this is normal cap. It comes with this, and then it also comes with this cap. And this cap just goes over,
Okay.
comes it into the inhalation. So yeah, you can use it in different countries.
Because I would love to try the goggles myself, but I don't think that we have had them, as far as I know. Linnea is on here today. I don't know if they have been in Sweden,
Yes.
if we have been able to purchase them.
Yep. I believe that you guys have stock over there. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sophia and Andreas will know. I believe that they do. Cool.
And do you, just for my own understanding, you put them on and then you infuse, I would guess would be the word for it in English?
Yeah. So for your eyes are exposed to our environment. And we know that these free radicals, they're toxins, they're floating, we don't see them. Cell phones, microwaves, TVs, radios, computers, air, food, they're everywhere. Hits our eye cells and damages our eye cells. So hydrogen's an antioxidant, helps rebuild cells. So when you put it on your eyes, it helps rebuild those eye cells that have been damaged. So we had one client specifically that was on a prescription for his glasses, and he started using this twice a week for 2 months. And he went back and they took him down 50% of his prescription in 2 months. And he
Because
don't using it twice.
yeah, yeah, and since I'm sorry for the background noise, sir. I'm gonna try to stop very tired. Since I suffer from cataract in my both eyes, it would be very interesting to try it because I am dependent on my eye drops on a daily basis, especially now when I'm a little bit tired, then it gets worse.
Oh,
The well, I have the cataract, but I'm suffering from iritis, I think, the rainbow inflammation that you can get in your eyes.
yep.
Which is why today I have the Hydra mist, so I actually tried to spray a little bit of water into my eyes, but I would like to try the goggles itself as well to see if my eye condition can improve a little bit.
Yes.
Because I know that I'm not going to say I know that I will lose my eyesight on my left side as well. That's what I've been told, but I'm trying to manage my eyes, my health as good as I can because I lost the reading ability on one eye and I don't want to lose it on the other eye as well.
Yeah. Well, we know that all issues, all diseases, all health issues are linked to one thing, too much oxidational stress. And that's coming from our environment with all the poisons and toxins we're exposed to. Then we have our own thoughts that create the stress because of the stress response, adrenaline, cortisol, your thoughts. And then we have our traumatic injuries. So if we can help balance our body and get our body out of stress and give our body the right tools to heal itself, your body is capable of healing itself. And so this will be great for you and your eyes to help rebuild the eyes and see what it can do for you.
Yeah, and that's why I'm very interested to try it because I would love it if it can. And I don't want to say that I know, but it's just going to improve a lot more.
Yeah.
All right, now there's another question. Thanks a lot.
Sure, gotcha. I see another question. If I use oxygen, I'm able to replace temperature, use oxygen. I am oxygen 24/7. Okay. Where are you? Salesman. Okay. Okay, so the question here we have from you, Michelle, is that oxygen. Are we talking about, oh, I see. So you're on oxygen. If we can get you on hydrogen therapy, oh my gosh, that will be amazing. Amazing. So I would switch that out and maybe still do your oxygen, obviously, but also use the hydrogen with that. Yeah. And we also, so the hydro shot's meant for drinking, but you can use it as inhalation. But if you really have something serious going on, like a lung issue, brain issue, something like that, we make machines that have higher production of this hydrogen gas. So you can get more powerful hydrogen. But it's a great way to start out. So I would call it the starter pack. Yeah. Awesome. That's wonderful. And thank you. We feel good. I love it. Okay, and yes, lungs for sure. Cool. All right, team. Well, don't want to keep you too long on a Saturday. I just want to let you know how much I appreciate all of you and how passionate we are about the future and what we have coming. Check on the website periodically, make sure you're connected in the Facebook group. If you need me for anything, you got three-way calls, you got customers, you want to know what videos to send them, just reach out to us. I'm happy to help you. That's what now that my body is healed, I'm focused again because I lost my drive completely. I didn't want to do anything because I just want to focus on healing my body. And I wouldn't say, I stepped out completely, but I haven't really been running the company too much. It's been Andreas and Sophia. So now that I'm back, I'm like, yes, now I feel the power. I feel the excitement again. And I'm feeling like all these exciting thoughts that I had before, that seemed to dwindle away when I wasn't feeling good. So I am excited for the future. Who's coming? Who's coming to the future with us? Yes, yes. Let's go find some people that want to come with us. We don't know the cost of the course yet. Just share that early bird wait list. So they asked the cost. I don't know yet, but here's the link that you can sign up and you can learn the information and then decide for yourself if it's a good for you. But I will tell you, it's my first time doing the course. So whatever we roll it out as, it's going to be way higher price as soon as we get people going through it and they start getting testimonies. Because if someone's there saying, I used to have this and now I have this, believe me, there's a need for the course. Everybody's going to want it. So then the price is going to have to go up because we want to keep the community small so we can engage these people and make sure they're doing the work. Because I don't want people not getting result. That's the thing. It's like, in order to get a result, you have to do the work. So we want to keep the cost high enough to keep the people engaged, but we don't want to put it so low that everybody comes and then there's no results because they don't show up because it wasn't valued enough. So we'll figure out the price as we go, but this one rolling out, the first one will be less price than the rest. And then also for the affiliates, you guys stay active. You make $1,000 of revenue the next 30 days for us, and you can have the complimentary access to the group. Does that make sense? So when you sell $1,000 between now and then, revenue you generate, you get free access to the course coming up. So if you want to get into the course and you don't want to pay for it, just get $1,000 of sales and you'll be having the course. Okay, so that gives you excitement and motivation, and it's going to be really, really fun. I can't wait. And we're talking about retreat possibly at the end of the 3 months at my home here, where we can even get more into your programming and subconscious mind and help you with some higher level thinking. Well, cool. All right. Well, let us know if you have anything else. Happy birthday to Andreas and Sophia. If you haven't already reached out to them, make sure to let Andreas know. He's turning 22 again. I said, how old are you? He said 22 again. I was like, oh, good. He looks 22. But yeah. All right. Well, ciao for now. Let me know if you have anything else, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. Bye.